Welcome back to Level Header Gamer, guys. My name is Joseph. Today we're going to tackle a primal content update for Godfall and all the new things that it has. Guys, make sure if you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe down below. And without any further ado, right away, let's get into the video. Now, I want to get right away into the primal content update, all the new things that they have brought along in this update overall, starting with Ascension Levels. Ascension Level basically like Paragon levels in Diablo, where you'll get various stat boosts that you can increase, whether it be Might or Archon Fury Duration, whatever it may be. You can upgrade every level, every 5 levels, basically every 5 points that you invest into each one. That's what it unlocks this particular stat, as well as bringing along with it some powers that every 25 levels you'll open up various powers. You'll open up 2 powers and you can pick one between the two to see which fits your character better. And there's going to be basically 30 rows of Ascension levels, and I believe 325 or 350 Ascension levels overall, with every 25 opening up a new power, as well as a merchant now that sells you various items, and sometimes they're even legendary and useful items. And what I gotta say is he refreshes anytime you do a Volatile Dreamstone, and I'm gonna explain to you what Volatile Dreamstones are so you know what I'm talking about. But just know that he's able to present you very useful items, whether it be epics or legendaries, and you'll just be able to exchange it for some Electrum. And as well as Dreamstones in general gives you a lot more coins of valor this time around. It's not as hard to farm them anymore, so that you can do the trials. And there's still no matchmaking, unfortunately, but what they have introduced is Primal Gear. Primal Gear is basically like, I've got, I think, a ring and a charm and a couple augments. It's supposed to be a higher tier version of an item that gives you something that, like, an incredible stat boost. I'll display a couple of them for you. I haven't found many that are useful, and they're not that frequent, to be honest, to really make it a big deal just yet. I'm sure people are gonna discover a bunch of them so far. I think I've gotten only 2 or 4. I don't know, like 2 to 4, sorry. But let's move on to Tower of Trials. Tower of Trials are a lot more useful, so to say now, a lot more fun to do. First of all, because boons are a lot more useful and clear in what they're going to give you. They really do make you a lot more powerful, whether it be giving you, say, Archon Duration or over health or whatever it may be. There's a lot more properties that are actually useful to your character now, not some random ones we used to get before that none of them really played any kind of a role. Not to mention you get a load of keys now, and I'll even say not enough chests to use them all. I never had a problem opening up every single chest as I was doing the Tower of Trials. Not to mention there's more frequent loot dropped from enemies as well, and sometimes you'll get a lot of legendaries depending kind of on your run. But what they have done is taken the 100 levels of the Tower of Trials, they reduced it to 30, and they made it a little bit harder. Not to mention they've also introduced different objectives, like point capturing objectives, where you have to defend 3 points, or bosses that continuously get health and you have to take them down in different parts of the tower. So they kind of made it a little bit more interesting and more variety, as well as you can upgrade your boons now. Let's say you have a specific boon that you really like and you want it to be really good, you can actually upgrade it now. And every 3 floors you get a Bane. Basically it's a negative status effect to your character, but it also boosts the percentage or the quality of loot that you will get by a certain percentage. So it's kind of a risk reward thing that you have to choose every 3 floors as you go down with the Tower of Trials. However, let's get to Dreamstones, because this is where it's really, like, the update really shines in general. First of all, Dreamstones from level 50 and on, they're never a 30,000 anymore. They are capped at 15,000 Electrum to enter, which is great. Not to mention they are a lot more tailored to what kind of loot that you want now. If you want, let's say, more critical items, you can do that now with a new system of balancing lucidity and stability. Let me explain to you. Lucidity, essentially, every time you complete a smaller quest in a Dreamstone, you'll get lucidity points that you can spend on various properties. For example, if you want more critical items, you can spend it to have more critical items, more rare critical items, more than one critical rare item, whatever it may be. And you kind of tailor as you go through a Dreamstone, trying to fine-tune what kind of items are you looking for in this particular run. but you have to balance it out with stability. Each time you complete a quest, your stability goes down. Every time you also complete a quest, a certain of that stability you will regain depending which quest you pick. So your job every single time is to try to balance it so your stability stays above 0, because once it reaches 0, you have to fight the final boss and kind of end the Dreamstone after that. So your job is to stay doing this as long as possible so that you can get as many items as you can before moving on to the boss and then fighting him. You can even refresh. Let's say you get like 10 different things that you can upgrade or kind of target your loot towards, and you don't like it, you can refresh it and keep going. But with each Dreamstone, you will get a higher negative stability decrease each time you complete a quest, until a point where it just becomes too much and you have to. As well as if you last for a certain long time, you actually can increase the difficulty of your Dreamstone and get a Bane as well, as I mentioned, that was in Tower of Trials. But you as well are going to have a new variation of a Dreamstone called Volatile Dreamstones. What they are essentially slightly harder versions but with better rewards. For example, you'll right away start with a higher stability point increase per quest so that you can keep it down, or a higher lucidity point count, whatever it may be. But essentially it just kind of boosts you up to give you a chance to make your Dreamstone last a little longer so that you can get the loot you want from it. But the way a lot of people are confused to open up a Volatile Dreamstone is you have to complete the regular version of it first. So if you do a level 52 one, you have to do the level 52 first, then you open up the Volatile version of it. Now these were the gameplay changes overall in this update. I'm gonna link down below for you the full patch notes that they fix, various fixes and like that. I didn't want to waste time on that just because that's the more boring, mundane details. If there's something particular that you're looking for, you can look it in there. But I already mentioned like matchmaking is not done yet. I don't know why they haven't fixed that or introduced that. Maybe it's some kind of code issue, but hopefully in the future we'll get something like that. And I'm really looking forward to the paid content DLC now. Just keep grinding my character to make sure he's badass enough for the paid DLC, as I'm sure that maybe the level cap will be increased, and we'll see what they'll be able to do with us for that. But guys, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll try to release a lot more Godfall content after this update. I was kind of taking a break from the game a little bit. Now I'm going to try to release a lot more content on that, so let me know if there's something you enjoy.